So let's throw something on this blank canvas. I'm going to bring in an image that I created. It took a lot of skill. Essentially, I took a piece of 8.5 by 11 printer paper. I took it straight out of my printer, didn't print anything on it, and I crumpled it up, and I uncrumpled it, and I put it on the scanner, and I scanned it and made a few adjustments. Now, resizing it is going to alter it a little bit, but I scanned it at a pretty high resolution. I scanned it at 600 dots per inch, so I think we're going to be pretty okay with it. Now, you notice as I'm making adjustments, you see where my cursor is? It's going to, because of this little icon over here that's locked, it's going to be making the changes to the percentage of the width and the height at the same time. Now, if I were to hold down my shift key, I have a little bit more control of the individual corners, and boom, there's our paper. It looks amazing, I think. But this is a pirate poster, and their paper was always dingy and gross. What I'm going to do is I'm going to double click this background layer. Oh, I'm clicking it like an idiot and not realizing what's going on. I have multiple screens, so it's hard to see that this window popped up in a different screen. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing, I guess. I just didn't look to my left. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this layer. It's not helpful for me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the different adjustment layers. So there's different things that we will talk about these. But at the very least, this is how we create a new layer. If we want to create a blank layer, we didn't have to create a blank layer because we dragged something in. I could create a background layer, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a solid color. I'm going to make sure that I have it. I guess I have to set this first. Yeah, like that. And I'm going to put it behind my paper. Cool. See how that beautiful dingy color just doesn't want to shine through. That's cool. So one of the most important things that you can do with layers is you can change your blend modes. There are so many blend modes, and actually if you do this, you can see what they can do, and maybe one of them is right for you. However, we primarily use multiply, screen, and overlay. But there's a fourth one that we use more than anything, and we just don't think about it because it's the normal, and it's just so normal that's how things start. But I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to hit screen. And I like that okay. It's a little bit too busy. And right next to the blend mode, I have the opacity that I can kind of pull that down a little bit. So we're having a little bit less of that white show through, and we're not getting quite as much as that real busyness that we were previously getting. It'll do. I mean, man, sure still is really busy here. I wish I could change that. I just don't know if Photoshop has those capabilities. Psych, it does have those capabilities. However, that's going to be using a different tool that I'm not quite ready to get you into. Right now we're just working with layers and our blend modes. So we're going to go ahead and be happy with that until maybe I can dull that down a little bit. All right. Well, it is a pirate thing, so let's throw in a stock image of a skull. That is perfect. It's so well blended into this background. Cool. And we'll throw in that just a reminder, we have screen. Yeah, screen worked for us. Let's see what screen does over here. It's probably going to be perfect. Ready for it? Awesome. Isn't that amazing? It is so good. Actually, if we were to look at different blend modes, we may find that all of these look really, really great for us. However, it's not until we start getting to some of these crazier ones over here that we actually get to see the skull actually pop through without all that background imagery. So I'm going to contradict myself right away. And do I like difference? What a difference a day makes. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and click that. So what that does is, you know, I'm kind of skipping over some important information. If we hit multiply, then the white essentially is going to become transparent, and the things are going to show through the white. And see how we have so much white in this image that is transparent? That's not true. If we hit screen, the black becomes transparent. So we have, see how that black just disappears, and we have this skull, how it just pops on our background. If we were to go to overlay is kind of a mix of the two, and it's not quite doing this because we're still getting this blocky view. So what I want to go ahead and play with this really odd looking difference, because we still have the general image of the skull. Now we need to make a choice. Do we want to have this light background layer? Because if we do, then having a light skull on top of it without any kind of separation is probably going to hurt us. But being that this is kind of stylized, I'm happy with it. And I can still play with my opacity a little bit, and I can make it more ghostly if I like, but I don't think so. I think that's right for me. As a matter of fact, I wanted to take up a little bit more space. You see how pixelated that looks? That is me working with an image that's not the highest quality, but guess what? Once we hit enter and we accept those changes, it becomes a little less pixelated. So that's kind of cool for what we're working for. What else are pirates known for? Oh, they are known for their heart. They put everything into what they do, and let's throw a heart in there. Now, finally, these blend modes are going to kind of play themselves in a simple way that is going to simplify our job so much, because we know, all right, because we had this really in-depth discussion of these 4 blend modes that we use. Our normal, which is just nothing, our multiply, which makes the white transparent, screen that makes the black transparent, and the overlay, which is kind of somewhere in the middle. We know that by hitting multiply, that heart is going to show through, and we are not going to see all that white. Awesome. So remember how I said white is means possibilities? Not in this case. So that works for us. Except for I don't know that I love what's going on here. So the problem with blend modes is they're actually blending together. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe we need to go back to good old normal heart and find another way to get rid of all this white. Well, okay. We're not going to work with brushes just yet. That's kind of advanced for us. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here to our selection tool. So we have our arrow, we have our marquee tool, and if you were to hold and click these, you have different options. So a marquee, like those rectangular things above the entrance of a theater, can also be a rectangular ellipses, right? I don't know, maybe. The marquee tool is just a way of quickly and easily making a selection like that. If you were to select another option, these are probably the 2 I use the most. You can create a selection. Well, why would we want to create a selection? Well, we can also pick. We're going to pick our magic wand tool, and we're going to create a selection by selecting this red circle heart. Like, some of the things I'm saying are genuinely me pretending to be dumb, but I clicked on this heart and said, this is a circle I'm clicking on. All right, so we're going to put these layers to work for us. We are going to say that this heart that we selected is all we want. We want to, what is it called? Take out. Mask out. Yeah, let's call it mask out. We want to mask out everything that is on this layer that is not that red heart. How do we mask that out? Well, we're going to come over here and we're going to create a layer mask. Because I had that area already selected, when I clicked the layer mask, it masked out everything else that was not selected. So there's a saying in Photoshop, white reveals, black conceals, because it rhymes itself. Reveals and conceals rhymes, right? So That's how you know it's not black reveals and white conceals, because that also rhymes. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to how that's a good mnemonic, but white reveals, black conceals for the sake of masking and Photoshop and creating a layer mask. So there we go. We have created a heart that no longer has these blending issues that we were having. And I want that heart right there, right behind this. Okay. Back to the drawing board. Somehow I need that heart to be behind that skull. And, well, what if I did that? Perfect. Now those blending modes are working for us in a way that is just amazing. You know what? Different lesson. We'll get to this. We'll fix that in just a little bit. It's almost like I'm unintentionally creating these problems that I have to go back and fix later on. Oopsie. I just realized something. And, just to prove that I'm not the genius all of you thought I was, I created this this layer with that little... I didn't know I created a paper layer with that little bottom. I think it's just because when I put it on the scanner after it had been wrinkled, it didn't want to lay lovely flat. It had lifted up and created a non-textured aspect of the image. But there we go. I fixed it. That was genuinely another mistake.